Hello, Chef Marcus Guiliano here, your favorite, I hope favorite, restaurant marketing maniac. So, I've always talked about trends in restaurants and how your restaurant should be advancing and grabbing onto certain trends. Not every trend, because you can't grab onto every trend. You can't change your theme. You can't. But if there are certain themes out there that that you can grab onto, then go for it, because that's really where business lies. A lot of business lies. Now, here's a trend that Chipotle is now elevating to the next level. Now, Chipotle did this years and years ago. I remember in the late 90s, Chipotle was all about this. They sold to McDonald's back then, and I remember the first couple of Chipotle stores in Colorado. And now they're getting back to their roots, literally their roots. So Chipotle is really pushing a new ad campaign on this. In fact, they have a new Instagram account that is their top 51 or their 51 ingredients that they're using. So their big thing is menu transparency. And I love this trend. I love menu transparency because no matter what type of restaurant you have, seafood house, steakhouse, French restaurant, Asian restaurant, diner, you name it, fast food like Chipotle, you can have menu transparency. You can show your guests where your food comes from, how it's prepared, the whole process, and all along that. Food transparency is massive these days with suppliers and restaurants. So if you're not doing some kind of transparency, your competitor is. It's simple as that. So here's how you kind of attack this thing, okay? So you sort of like want to buy some local. I'm not going to expect you to say go out and buy all local. I buy from 45 Farms for my restaurant. We buy a lot of local. We're very farm to table. You don't need to do that to have menu transparency. You can buy things from, for example, bigger manufacturers that then have a system of showing you transparency. So, for example, like Murray's Chickens. It's a bigger hormone-free, antibiotic-free chicken processing plant brand here in New York. They will actually show, if you go on their website, where they source their chickens from. So it's just some kind of chain of, I don't want to say chain of command, but it's sort of like some kind of traceability along the system. So you can find suppliers that have the traceability systems to do that. Now, of course, buying from your local farmer is the best, because Farmer Bob is right down the street, and Farmer Bob grows your corn, your asparagus, whatever he's growing, and you say, hey, this is Farmer Bob. But a lot of us don't have that luxury, and we're buying for larger volumes, and Farmer Bob can't supply large volumes. For some of us restaurants are doing 100, 200, 300, 400 covers a night. But there are other forms of transparency. And just ask your distributor, ask your produce. Start with produce first. Ask your produce and start your meat guy. Those are the two places to start for transparency. It's a bit harder when it gets to things like salt and sugar and flour. It still can be done, and we do it at my restaurant very, very clearly. And the one thing that I'm proud of in my restaurant is I will show you any label we have, anything we have, whether it's sriracha sauce or our burger buns. I will show you the label and say, here you go, here's what's in our food that we're serving. And I'm proud of that. So do not be afraid to show your guests, and definitely don't be afraid to buy better quality ingredients, because this is what people want nowadays. Food. If Chipotle's banking their new ad campaign on food transparency, menu transparency, then that should click in every restaurateur's mind that, hey, this is something that's real. Chipotle, a national chain that's going to go really focus on this, this is something that's real. So even if you have 10 ingredients or 20 ingredients, not every single thing on your menu, start small and keep working. You'll find that your guests will really appreciate it, but you have to market it properly. That's the other thing. You just can't do this and keep it a secret. You have to actually put it on your menu, on your website, on your Instagram, on your Twitter, on your Facebook, and show people this is where our food comes from. So that's the trend that every single restaurateur can jump on right now, is menu transparency. If you have any comments, leave them below. I'll be happy to comment. As always, I have a free link. I have a book. I have a link for a free book in the bottom or in the description of this video. So go ahead and go on there. 50 mistakes that business owners make, and it'll help you transform your restaurant, double your revenue. There's proven scientific, there's proven stuff that I did that I used to double my revenue in my restaurant. In fact, triple my revenue in my restaurant. There's techniques in there. So definitely get a copy of my free book. I'll ship it to you right away, and leave some comments.